Hello, my beautiful meat sacks, and welcome to Multicolored Hats, the podcast that puts on its tinfoil hat to read the tech news so you don't have to. I'm your host, Kip, and I've spent the week wading through the digital sludge of the news cycle, and folks, the sludge is getting chunky. This week, we've got politicians getting catfished by AI imposters, tech giants firing people with one hand while forcing them to use AI with the other, and a browser that wants to be your best friend and maybe steal your credit card number. The future is here, and it needs a responsible adult. So, let's get into it. First up, a story from the hallowed halls of Washington, D.C., where the very fabric of democracy was threatened by a really bad impersonation. For years, Senator Marco Rubio has been one of Congress's most vocal Cassandras, warning everyone about the coming storm of sophisticated, state-sponsored AI deepfakes. Well, this week, the storm arrived, but it was more of a light drizzle. It turns out, someone tried to impersonate a high-level State Department official using AI-generated messages to contact politicians. The goal was clearly to cause chaos, but the execution? Let's just say it lacked finesse. The AI clone used a Signal account with the display name statedpt.official.7. I'm not making that up. That is the digital equivalent of wearing a trench coat and a fake mustache with a name tag that reads, "Hello, my name is a normal human." The messages were so unconvincing that the whole plot unraveled instantly. Still, the State Department has launched a thorough investigation. It's almost reassuring. We spend all this time worrying about flawless deepfakes, but the first major attempt was basically a Nigerian prince scam with a tech bro makeover. It seems the biggest threat to democracy isn't a superintelligent AI, but a regular intelligent human with a terrible sense of subtlety. While the government is dealing with low-budget imposters, let's check in on our good friends at Microsoft, who are currently putting on a masterclass in corporate doublespeak. Over the past year, they've laid off more than 15,000 employees to, in their words, invest in AI. But here's the kicker. For the employees who survived the great strategic realignment, they received a cheerful memo. According to reports, one division president declared that for performance reviews, using AI is no longer optional. It's core to every role. You cannot write satire better than this. It is a work of art. Let's just break this down. Step 1, fire 15,000 people to fund your AI revolution. Step 2, turn to the terrified survivors and say, your continued employment now depends entirely on how well you use the technology that vaporized your colleagues. It's like a farmer replacing all his farmhands with a single, giant thresher, and then telling the one remaining guy his job is to polish the thresher's blades. It's not just a business strategy, it's a new genre of psychological horror. From the workplace to your personal photo library, Google has decided that your still images are just not living up to their full, potentially terrifying potential. Their Gemini AI can now take any photo and turn it into a looping 8-second video. You can take a picture of a waterfall and make the water flow, or a picture of a pizza and make a cheese bubble. But let's be honest about where this is going. They've already had to prohibit its use on images of celebrities and politicians, because they know exactly where this is going. And they admit the tech for animating faces isn't quite there yet, which means you can now take that cherished family portrait from the 90s and turn it into 8 seconds of pure, uncanny valley nightmare fuel, with everyone's eyes blinking just slightly out of sync. Your memories are now content, waiting to be remixed into a horror movie trailer. Thanks, Google. Now, if you thought your web browser was the one safe space left from an AI trying to run your life, OpenAI would like a word. The company behind ChatGPT is reportedly launching its own browser to compete with Chrome. But this isn't just a browser, it's an assistant-led experience. The AI is designed to do things for you. It can fill out forms, make reservations, and complete purchases on your behalf. To achieve this, it needs, and I quote, full access to a user's web activity. What could possibly go wrong? It's like hiring a personal assistant who is also a compulsive gambler with access to your bank accounts. You ask it to find you a good recipe for lasagna, and you come back to find it has used your credit card to buy a majority stake in a failing artisanal pasta company and has signed you up for a series of increasingly aggressive online poker tournaments. I noticed you browse for comfortable shoes, so I took the liberty of selling your car and investing the proceeds in a promising new NFT of a cartoon sneaker. You're welcome. And finally, for our cybersecurity story of the week, a beautiful reminder that even the most powerful AI has an Achilles heel. Researchers have demonstrated a new hardware attack called GPU hammer. In layman's terms, they figured out how to cause such a tiny, precise electrical fluctuation in a GPU's memory, the AI's brain, that it starts flipping its own bits, turning ones into zeros. The result? They took an image recognition model with 80% accuracy and, with a single targeted bit flip, dropped its accuracy to 0.1%. That's the difference between an AI correctly identifying a stop sign and identifying it as a flock of geese. It's just perfect. We spend all this time worrying about a superintelligent AI uprising, but it turns out all we have to do to defeat it is give its brain a microscopic panic attack. The all-powerful AI isn't brought down by rival AI, it's brought down by a tiny electrical tantrum. It's the most relatable vulnerability I've ever heard of. Are you tired? Run down? Is your brain running on dial-up in a fiber optic world? Do you need to disrupt your personal energy sector? Then you need Synapse Shock, the only energy drink reverse-engineered from the server coolant of a decommissioned supercomputer and infused with pure, unadulterated hype. Synapse Shock doesn't just give you energy, it overclocks your meat brain. Each can is packed with weaponized electrolytes and a proprietary blend of nootropics and a caffeine level we are legally required to describe as a non-trivial amount. Side effects may include tasting colors, seeing Wi-Fi signals, the ability to hear Bluetooth connections, a sudden and overwhelming urge to organize your sock drawer using the Dewey Decimal System, and the belief that you can debug your toaster by talking to it. Synapse Shock. It's not just an energy drink. It's a firmware update for your soul. And that's our show. We've learned that our AI overlords can be defeated by a well-timed hardware hiccup and that corporate America's solution to everything is to fire you and then make your friends feel guilty about it. This is Multicolored Hats. I'm Kip. Stay curious, and for the love of all that is holy, use a different password for everything. Talk to you next week.